with the two Maltese.
Just sit right back and hear them tell the tale of a podcast crew who gather around their mighty drink to give their point of view. As man is a panel fire, he shows that he has fun. And Donny, our host, will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big T's our rock, he keeps us true, he often gets his say. And just alive, he knows the girls and everything Dragon's way, and everything Dragon's way. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen with Tasman and Donny too. And there's Big T and Coco, just the start. Mazza and the other crew here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast at our brand new special time of 7:30. So this will be our time from every Teamless Tuesday from now on. Welcome to our very first show at this new time. We do it's our round 13 preview against the Newcastle Knights on Friday night at Kogarah, and letting you know, of course, Mad Dragons podcast wouldn't be happening without our sponsor, Complete Warehouse Solutions at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra. Get in touch with the team on 42571930 or 0417 223 409. Okay, a couple of inclusions into the Dragon side this week as they come off the bye, and some injuries as well. But Rob, take us through the side that Flano has named this afternoon to take on the Knights on Friday night.
Okay, we've got Clint Gutherson at fullback, Terrell Sloan on one wing, and we've got CT returning, Christian Tupolatu, which is great news for the Dragons. On the other wing, we've got Moses Sully and Val Holmes. Hopefully he backs up after Origin. We've got Lachlan King-Toga at 5'8", at 6, and Kyle Flanagan at halfback at 7. We got JDB, Jack DeBellin at prop at 8. Damien Cook at hooker, 9. David Clemmer at prop at 10. And then we got our second row of Lachane Leilua and Jaden Sewer. And locking the scrum for us is Hamish Stewart. On the bench, 14, Jacob Little. 15, welcome return to Toby Couchman. And we've got Big Loco, 16. And Blake Laurie at 17. And 18th man is Emre Gula. And we've got 19th Raymond Fatala Mariner, and 20 Lachlan Ilias, 21 Nathan Lawson, and 22 Arne Selle, and coached by Shane Flanagan. Back to you, Jess.
Yep. So it is a couple of surprise additions. Both Christian Tupolatu and Toby Cashman have been named a week ahead of their scheduled returns, which is a timely boost as we look to push towards the top 8. We are on the fringe of the top 8, and this game sets up as a crucial clash in the context of both team seasons. But we'll get into our next segment of the night, where we will discuss the opposition team. And we're actually, before we do that, I will introduce the team. We do have Big T in the right-hand corner. You've heard from Rob, who just read us through the team. Big T will introduce our special guest very shortly, and we will have Coco and Hasman possibly joining us a little later as well. But yeah, we'll get into the time of the night where we discuss the opposition team. In this case, this week, the Newcastle Knights.
So, just
come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
Well, good day, big Dragons fans. I'm Big T, and this is Behind Enemy Lines. Round 13 or halfway there nearly. Before I bring a guest in, I'll run through the teams. Kalen Ponga at the back, if he backs up. James Schiller and Fletcher Hunt on the wings. In the centres, Dane Gagai and, as we were talking earlier, Cole McCarthy. Don't know who that is. Fletcher Sharp and Tyson Gamble in the halves. Up front, Tyson Frizzell, Phoenix Crossland, Leo Thompson. Back row, Dylan Lucas and Kai Pierce-Paul. Matt Croker locks the scrum. On the bench, Jaden Brayley, Jack Hetherington, BJ Brody Jackson, Thomas Kent, 18th man, Jack Kogarah, Jermaine McEwen, Matt Arthur, is it Kondo Voscano, Elijah Saleh Ilimi Moana. So Adam O'Brien's the coach. Bringing our guest. Hello, Adam. Adam, you're one of Hasman's friends, I believe, or you know Hasman. I wouldn't admit to that, but anyway.
Look, I've never met Hasman. I was dragged into a third party, but so happy to be here, guys. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for joining us, mate. You're a legend. Just going through, having a look. What do you think about your new recruit next year, your $13 million man?
I no words, just no words. I don't see it. I look at us spending 1.4 on Kalen Ponga a year, and then 1.3 on Dylan a year, and the salary cap, where if our management were actually looking to the long-term future, we look at the side without Kalen Ponga. As much as I love KP, last week we saw the side actually performing without relying on KP. Are they going to do that the same with Dylan Edwards? Look, if you're going to throw 1.3 at a player like Dylan Edwards to change a club, throw it over 3 years or throw him 700 over 10. But it's just a bad buy in my eyes. I cannot see the investment.
Yeah, we've spoken about it on this for a little bit, and we're saying we don't think he's worth 1.3. So good luck to you. Good luck to you next year. Anyway, we're talking about this year. He had a good win last week without Margie, without Best, Saifidi, Elliott, against the last place Panthers. Everyone's beating the Panthers these days. But it's been a bleak year, 4 from 7. They're running just behind us. We've had 2 buys. You've had 1. Where do you think the Knights are missing? Where are they? They're missing something. What are they missing?
I think the lack of consistency in the halves has played a big part. Adam O'Brien's continued thinking of who's playing where. I think there's, and we'll talk about that later when it comes to Hastings, but there's a bit of a rift in the club, and I don't think it's been well. We have a great side. Looking on the weekend, we took the Panthers on up the middle. Our backs were great. Our edges were fantastic, but it's inconsistent, and the inconsistency starts with the coach and the inconsistent teams he keeps putting on the field.
Okay, and I think mixing around the halves all the time doesn't help either.
That's the biggest issue.
I think Jess had a question about your halves. Jackson Hastings, why is he so on the nose?
Well, rumour has it coming out of the Knights that there's a rift. There's a rift in the Wags.
Okay.
And that sadly, that's with one of the senior players. And look, there could only be a few. Thinking about the and things like that. Sadly, player power at the club. Wags involvement. We saw it a bit with Canberra. I think Ricky Stewart handled it really well when Tarp and his missus got involved. I don't think Newcastle are handling it well. My concern is that we are wasting $770 on a half. Loves to get his hands on the ball. So yeah, I totally agree with you guys. It needs to be sorted out.
But with Hastings, it seems to be everywhere he goes, he's a cancer. Something happens. He's been at the Dragons, he went to Hastings. Everywhere he's gone, he's been kicked out. He's at the Dragons. He left there at the Roosters, didn't like him there. Went over to England, didn't like him there.
Manly didn't like him.
So yeah.
He does rub people. He does rub people the wrong way, but we've got another half I'd really like to talk about, Tyson Gamble, who has exactly that same sort of personality. when we went on that run, not last year, the year before, in that last 10 games where KP got the Dally M, those two were consistent halves. And whilst they had that little bit of grub about them that people didn't like, they actually gelled really well. And combination through that game were picking up the 2s and 1s where Caleb was picking up the 3s.
Yeah. Well, you guys have won the last 2. We won the 2 before that, and you won the 2 before that. So it's our turn to win. Why are the Knights going to buck that trend this week against the Dragons?
It's going to have to be in the forwards. Newcastle, the games we've won, the games where we've done really well, has been forwards, particularly Frizzell and Thompson. And Thompson's back from his little gastro last weekend. Those two setting the platform. As we saw, Dylan Lucas running off Tyson Frizzell and Fletcher Sharp last week, that platform set the edges up. We didn't even go wide. Didn't even see the ball. It was literally through that middle third. And if we're going to do the same thing, we've got to do that to you guys. And which is kind of scary because with DeBell and Clemmer, Lulawai, Sewer and Stewart, I don't know Stewart so well, but those other 4 are literally origin caliber players. So we're Dylan Lucas is not going to get touched in the run, and Paul is going to have to stand up much better than that. But if we're going to beat you guys, it's going to be through that third.
Yeah. Your defence has been a bit of a sieve, except for last week against the Panthers. They've been giving away a lot of points and not scoring many. Well, we've got Sloan who scored 9 tries, Val Holmes scoring tries, Pilato started off absolutely fantastic, hat-trick in his first game. Sewell running at his menacing best. How did Newcastle going to combat our slick outside backs? Because when they play, they're pretty slick.
I think I answered that question in my last one. We're going to have to play you guys through the middle because your back 5 are hot. Your back 5 are running hot. I think Gutherson may not be sitting in the top 10 of the Dally M's, but he's got to be close to the bye of the season, just the effort.
That's the energy. Yeah.
Well, he's running 7th.
Oh, he's in the top. My apologies. I must have been just looking at the top 5. But he has to be close to the bye of the season. The way he directs your back line, the way he picks up defensively as a captain, he and then you've got so much talent in Thorley and Holmes. Unfortunately, Holmes is a Queenslander.
Queenslander!
There is so much talent in that back line. We really need to ensure that we keep that game in the middle third, or we're done. I don't have all back up. And as much as Jack Gagai, people say he only plays when he's got a Morocco. He's been one of our best players year in, year out, but he's not going to do that alone. And Fletcher goes back to the back.
We've got a question there from one of our. We've got a question there from one of our listeners, watchers, whatever they call them. Didn't Frizzell go to the Knights to win a comp? How's he doing with that?
He's doing about as well as any other Knights player. Look,
I told you there'd be a bit of digging.
Hey, we've got trophies. They're just wood.
We're playing for a trophy on Friday night, the Alex McKinnon Cup.
And
ouch.
Adam, you're a good bloke, buddy. But it's the other Adam that worries me, the coach. I don't like a guy that says in interviews, you media, all this sort of stuff. I honestly think he's almost run his race, mate, Adam O'Brien. I think you guys need a much better coach to come in for you. You've got some really good players.
Well, they've got Peter O'Sullivan there now, Rob.
Yeah, Peter O'Sullivan, but the coach, I don't know. I just don't trust this coach. I don't like him, mate. I think you guys can get a better coach for yourself. I don't like people who make excuses all the time about, you know what I mean, and not just tell the truth. Just say, hey, this is where we got to improve. This is where we got to be better.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the coach, Ed?
My thoughts on I don't think that he's strong enough to he's never going to be an elite coach. I always thought he was a stopgap measure for Newcastle, and I'm still surprised that they kept investing in him. We had a playing group that should have been top 4, and they kept extending his contract when we scraped into the 8. And that's never going to be a great thing for a coach. Whilst we've got Peter O'Sullivan there, we've got bad management at the top. We've invested badly. I'd love to see someone like a Brad Arthur or someone like that who has had that NRL experience. Can be hard. I mean, you've got to look at Brad Arthur, and when he was ousted, the playing group he had was decimated.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
He's got
decimated.
a trump card there too. His son's playing there.
Well, one of his sons playing up with us now, and the other one's playing Stanley. But I've got to say, I think they really need an experienced coach. And Brian, a great assistant, has proved himself as an assistant, but there are leaders and there are 2 ICs. And the leader needs to be the one who's going to come in and do those hard yards. Like you look at your coach, Shane Flack, he'll come in and make the hard decisions. Whilst his son,
We hope he does.
whilst his son is the halfback at the moment, Kyle wouldn't be there if he didn't.
You're breaking up a bit, Ads.
Sorry, I was just saying, Flanagan's not picking Kyle because he's not worthy. They're building. He has a plan, he has a structure. Adam O'Brien is just going week to week, changing halves, bringing in like no next up mentality. There's no long-term junior structures. There's nothing that we see from the great coaches happening from Adam O'Brien.
Yeah. So, who are you looking forward to on the weekend, head to head? Who'd you like to go head to head? Who's going to be a favourite?
I really love the 2 young 5'8" coming up against each other. I think King Togia has done a really good job stepping up. He's a little bit different, and Fletcher Sharp having that speed and that they're 2 young up and coming 5'8". I think that's a great battle. I'm not even going into the back 5. That scares the hell out of me. But yeah, I really like that 5'8". Let's say, you've got 2 running halfbacks that do really well taking on the line, but you've got those 2 jinky 5'8", young, up and coming. Yeah, I find that really interesting.
Well, the Knights had him signed, like a Kitogia.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Signed on the dotted line.
But
And then he
he
flipped.
changed his mind in the cooling off period.
He backflipped.
Contract signing and cooling off periods. That DCE clause, I call that.
Yeah. You got any other questions there, Jess, Rob?
Jess?
There's been talk. Kalen Ponga. I know the Knights' form hasn't been great. It's been probably the worst attack in the comp, but their defense has been something they've been good at. But I want to ask, Kalen Ponga, do you think him going into this Origin camp and playing tomorrow night, and it's such a big game, will lift him to try and take his performance back to the Knights? His form's he started the Eagle very well, but he's dipped the last 5 or 6 weeks.
I think seriously, Origin is the pinnacle of our game. Any player going into Origin is going to live. We're not talking about people going in and playing for best grade. This is the pinnacle of our game. Of course, Origin, of course, going to live. I still go back to England. I think way reliant on him. Newcastle have done years. We've always had that one mercurial player that we've looked to. Johns, Badiris, Harriet. Even Jared Mullen was looked at as that next god. We've always tested. And I think the sad thing, you asked me about our $13 million man. I think that's what we're trying to replicate. I think when Adam O'Brien comes up with a game plan where Pong is allowed to play natural game, which it will be. The fullback when playing like Munster and Harry Grant, you're going to see Ponga shot. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up here. He's got to thrive in that environment. Unfortunately, it's the total reverse of what happens in Newcastle. Everyone just relies on him. When some of that weight takes and I'd almost say with Fletcher Ponga, I'd maybe do what didn't work before and switch Kalen to 5'8" and Fletcher to fullback.
Yeah, we had that question before. Yeah, it could be a thing for you because he played well last week, Fletcher Sharp. Give us a prediction.
I
know it's going to be Newcastle, but give us one anyway.
No one's going to like me, but Dragons by 12.
You want a what?
Dragons by 12.
Are you doing that like when you? Are you doing that like when you tip against your team in the tipping comp? You're doing it like
reverse
tip
psychology.
against your team, reverse psychology. You know, I think that's what he's doing.
Just a little story. My grandfather's brother, him and I, after my father and grandfather passed away, and we're literally both sitting on 49 points at the moment. I love beating him, so I'm going to tip the Dragons, but then I get to win if the Knights win. Because I know, yeah. So, yeah, it's a little bit of reverse psychology. But honestly, no, truly, I think your back five are much stronger. I think we're going to have a battle in the forwards, but with DeBellin and Clemmer up the middle, Lulai Sewer out wide, I just think the matchups sit with you guys. And honestly, I think you guys by 12.
Wow. Dragons by 12, eh? I'll write that down, see if it can. Oh, here we go. Look at this. You know what time of night it is, guys? It's a time we go for a walk down memory lane. Adam, come with me as we take a walk down memory lane. Unfortunately for you, brought to you by Essence and Light. It's a candle and soap manufacturer. They're small batch. They make small things. It's very good stuff. Look them up, www.essenceandlight.com.au. We've played 44 times. Dragons have won 29. Knights have won 15. We've scored 984 points. The Knights have scored 921.
Right.
But the game we're going back to Sunday, 4th of April, 2004. Dragons versus Knights. Wynn Stadium. Referee, Sean Hampstead. Crowd, 9,362. Sean Hampstead, Mr. Bean. He refereed the Dragons 42 times, 23 wins, 18 losses and a draw. 23 games, 18 wins, yeah. 55% win rate. So we're pretty good under Mr. Bean. We were happy with him. We'll run through the teams here. We've got Ben Hornby at the backlock, and Reece Simons on the wings. Our best setup pairing, Ghazni and Cooper. Barrett and Head. Head could have been anything except for injuries. Bull Bailey, Biggie Riddell, Lance Thompson in the front row. Then Young, Brent Kite, and Sean Timmins. Nathan Brown was the coach. Justin Paul. What was his name? Ryan Powell, sorry.
Michael, it'll be Michael or David.
Yeah, it would be Michael Howell, Lincoln Withers, and Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell played for the Dragons. Only 5 games, 04 and 05. But he comes from the Helensburgh Tigers. And these are the Dragons that have come out of that club. Pincinelli, Kissel, Donnelly, Safi, Lett, Paul, Cook, Tammy Bremner, Kezi Ouch, Jess Surges, all from Helensburgh Tigers.
And Tonegata.
Emma Tonegata. There's many, many more. The players that come out of that club, unbelievable. But Ryan Powell played for us 04, 05, 5 games. Was a winger, I think. I know a hooker, I think he was. Okay, let's go through the Newcastle team. Micah Young, Craig Hall, and George Coleman on the wings. In the centres, Matthew Gidley and Russell Richardson. Ex-Sharky, wasn't he, Richardson? Ex-Dragon, Jamie Fitzgerald and Kirk Gidley. In the halves. Up front, Josh Perry, Danny Badeiras, and Anthony Woolnough.
Adam.
Adam will know. Yep. Todd Lowry, Daniel Abrahams, and Ben Kennedy locks the scrum. I know in this game, the score ended up being a blowout for the Dragons. But the Knights did score an early goal. I knew that about this game, 2 points. But then Piggy got 2 tries. Couldn't find anything on this game. No match reports, no highlights. I got all my stuff off Rugby League Project. Piggy got 2 tries. Reece got a double as well. Reece Simmons. Trent Barrett got a 4-pointer. Tinga got over for 1. Shimmy, whoosh, Gaznia. Always scores tries, Gaz. Rest in peace, young man. Tomo got 1.
Yeah, full props.
Yeah. Sean Timmins got a try of his own. 27 tries from 124 games for the Dragons. He was a good player, Timo.
Oh, wasn't he?
Piggy Riddell got 4 from 6 this day. Matty Head scored, I think that says 1 from 3. 2 from 3. Half time, Dragons 20, Knights 2. Full time, Dragons 48, Knights 2. And I think the Knights did score first in this game, but went to a 2-0 lead. They scored. That's right. Didn't get to 0. So that was the biggest Dragons score against the Knights in the history. 26 years of the Dragons. Yeah. Score was 48-2. There it goes. Thank you for joining me for Behind Enemy Lines and a walk down memory lane. It's been a Big T presentation brought to you by the Mad Dragons podcast, Essence and Light, Candles and Soaps, www.essenceandlight.com.au. Go and check them out. Your missus will love you. Will love you for it. The rest is history, Jess, but there's much, much more to be made. And this week, she's not here tonight, but that's little Coco. Little Coco. Every week, Adam, we go through our panel members, and I asked them to send me photos, and Coco sent me photos of her when she was a little girl. There's preschool Coco. Oh, isn't that nice? Where's Coco? Come on, Coco.
She hasn't aged a day.
It's fancy Coco. Look, she's all dressed up. She must be going to a party.
That, Jess.
It's a lovely dress, Coco. Oh, I'm going to the country fair, Coco. Hey, with a little parasol. Hey.
We got this is incredible. Oh,
and we got karaoke, Coco. Karaoke. And every week I get I do a AI caricature of these people, and there she is. She's got a dragon on her head. She's wearing the Dragon's badge there, number 7. So there you go, Coco. I'll send that to you. And if you come on later on, we'll bring this up again. So there you go. That was Behind Enemy Lines and I Walk Down Memory Lane. Thanks for joining us, Adam. You've been an absolute champion.
Thanks, mate.
And I hope we see you again. I think we play us again this year, don't we?
Yep. Well, no, I don't.
We'll see you in the semis. All right, Ants. Thanks very much.
Absolute
no worries, mate. Thank you.
Hey, mate.
Well, there we go.
Thank you, Adam, for coming on.
Great Newcastle supporter, Adam. There we go. We'll have him back again. He was great. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.
See you,
Bye.
All right, so we'll keep the ball rolling. You're on the Mad Dragons podcast, sponsored by Complete Warehouse Solutions. Now we'll discuss the Dragons team. So, Val Holmes, Big T, he'll be playing in the Origin tomorrow night up there at Brisbane. If all goes well, do you think he'll back up?
Oh, of course he will. Coming off a win, he'll be back every day of the week. Every day of the week he'll be back. Coming off a win, easy. What? You asked me a question.
Very wishful thinking, Rob. Christian Tuipulotu has been out for 6 weeks. A welcome return has been named to return a week ahead of schedule. How much of an inclusion is the money man, Christian Tuipulotu?
Absolutely massive for us, Jess. I mean, him out wide, his carrybacks, his defence, high ball, attacking ability, finish off tries, and his pride and passion. absolutely, it just bleeds out of him. He's such an exciting player who is just all over our team for the whole game, pumping him up, pumping the tyres up for the 80 minutes. So just a great player to come back right at the right time. We're just on the verge of the 8. So to ice a big win against the Knights, I can think of better, no better player to come in than CT.
Lisa's had a bit of a laugh to your Queensland comment, Big T.
Who's that?
Lisa's laughing at your comment.
I love Lisa. She's lovely.
All right, Big T.
You know, everyone loves me.
With the season-ending injury to Dylan Egan. Yeah, with the tragic season-ending injury to Dylan Egan, I think he was on track to get Rookie of the Year the way he was playing.
Sure.
Luciano Leilua comes in for Dylan Egan. Now, he does have his defensive deficiencies. Are you surprised that he's gone with are you surprised Flano's gone with Leilua? Were you expecting him to go down the road of maybe a Raymond for Mariner, or is it as expected that he's gone with Leilua?
That could happen anyway. Laurie could drop with the bench. Raymond for America start. Leilua will drop back to the bench. You don't know what's going to happen with Sloan. With Flanagan. He's all over it. Well, Katzman might even start, and Clemmer might be on the bench. Who knows?
100%.
Yeah.
Flano.
I think he's looking at using Katzman. Maybe he'll come on. Leilua might push to the front. You don't know what Shane Flanagan's going to do. But yeah, I don't expect that starts there will start the game.
Yeah, Lalo is not a big minutes player. I think it's just a bit of Flano. He's going to change the team. He's not a player who's going to play a whole match or 65, 70 minutes. There's no way. Yeah, he's more a bench player. They say impact player, Luch. That's what I reckon. And that's what I've seen. He's been great as an impact player, but mate, if you're playing for longer minutes than that, I'd be very worried, to be honest with you.
I think who knows? Tui player might not be right to come back, and he's got Lawson coming off the extended bench. So
that's
who knows?
Flano does stuff. He does.
Tui's a week early, so he's supposed to be back around 14. So let's see what happens. Yeah. Might be a ruse.
They've all got middle forwards on the bench. You look at Toby Couchman, Loco Tonga, and also Blake Laurie. Do you think? Yeah, we mentioned there could be a potential swap. But no edge forwards there, Rob, on the bench.
Yeah, look, what we just discussed with Flano, I would not be surprised if that is different come now before the game. So, and obviously just we're going to the game, so I'm pretty much 50% over that won't be the same side like what Big T's saying that we see that runs on. So yeah, I think it'll be different, definitely.
Can Stewart play on edge?
He can.
So they bring Laurie into the back row and into the lock, and then take Luciano off and put Stewart on the edge. So there's plenty of options.
The only thing I'd say we've noticed that he likes to bring on Little and Cook goes to lock as well.
That's right.
It's been working really well when he does that. We seem to be a different team when they both play on the field at the same time in those positions. So yeah, I think it's going to change based on that.
Bellin will start then a front row either.
Question there from Lucas. Yeah, it's taken them a few weeks, but they're starting to look good. I think so.
They got the right
team around.
I think that's the way they've been playing anyway for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though they've got the different numbers on their back, Kyle Flanagan's still been the halfback, and Likey Katogi's been the 6.
110%. Kyle's been the halfback. There's no disputing that.
Yeah, and Flano's just decided, we'll give you the right numbers this week.
Yeah. It's so good too. It's the right thing to do.
It does. The hardest play on both sides now. We're starting to go back to half 5'8" centre winger. We're going back to that too. If you notice, some teams put their both wingers on the same side, both centres on the same side. You're seeing that more and more every week. So we're going back to the 6, 7, 6, 3, 4 out to the 5. So we're seeing that anyway. So they're playing on both sides. Gutho's playing on both sides. When Gutho chimes into that back line, whoa, my God, it looks good.
Well, he plays like another 5'8", doesn't he? When he chimes
Exactly
in.
right.
Yeah, well, he's probably in. I think he's up there with in the top try assists this year.
Yeah, somewhere there.
We mentioned Toby Couchman, Big T, an early return from injury. Do you think he's been starting in the games this year? Do you think that it's the fact that he is returning from injury that's why Flano's just put him on the bench?
More than likely. He'll ease him back in. You give him 50 minutes, 40 to 50 minutes this week, and then ease him back into the team next week. I'll say he'll start on the bench, but they'll ease him back into the game.
One you did mention before, Rob, Jacob Little. Now, what an amazing try he scored against the Broncos a couple of weeks ago. Played 50 minutes in that. Probably our best player in that game, and arguably our best player all season, to be honest. And he was a catalyst in that game. What do you think of a role he plays here? Do you see some sort of role again where Little comes on, Cook moves to 13? They both come on at the same time. Does Cook get a rest? Or do you think it's a game-by-game proposition, depending on who we play?
I think it's a game-by-game, but Little obviously, massive word with him should be his middle name, impact. I mean, he makes a massive impact when he comes on, without a doubt. There's no doubt he can play more minutes. I wouldn't say 80. But in saying that, I've been so impressed when Little's on and Cook goes to lock, and Little's at hooker. We look like a different team, but our momentum, our go forward, just their combination. I think that helps the forwards. I think it helps the halves as well too. So I think Flano's he's working it out. I think he's finally working it out how best to play it. But geez, when they're both on the field together, they look good. So again, maybe look for Little to play more minutes, and maybe Cook still plays a fair few minutes as well too, mate. I'm not saying that Cook won't have any. He'll probably have some time off on the bench, but to be honest, Cookie had a very good game last match, and obviously Little had a fantastic match as well. So why wouldn't you play them both together, mate? They were two of our best players.
Yeah. And Emre Gula named on the extended bench. Big T. There has been talk that he may come into the team as well.
Anybody in that 22 can come into the team. Anybody in that 22, maybe not Ilias, but anybody in that 22 can come into the side. Gula might come in for Laurie. Who knows? Gula might be there was a ruse for Couchman. Who knows? We don't know what he's thinking.
Lawson, I'm 99.9% sure that if Val Holmes is not back up, Nathan Lawson will make his debut.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Is there anyone there that'll do
you
it?
agree to that, Rob? If Val doesn't come through Origin tomorrow night?
I think he's due, but I'm concerned that obviously I would have thought he'd been playing on the wing, you know what I mean? So Holmes not being there, CT coming back. So obviously with throwing him into the centres, I'm assuming that's where he'll play. We've got a strong team. But yeah, has he been a little bit behind with the lower grades? Has he been playing mainly wing, or he has played some centre in lower grades as well? Or
he's played a bit of centre, but he's played most of the year on the wing. That's where his preferred position is.
Cookie,
yeah.
Cookie's going to say no. You'd love that.
But actually, asking you guys, I know you know your stats really well. I mean, Val's played, was it 19 Origins where he's played? I mean, is he backed up in just about every Origin, barring injury or whatever? Is he always hard? To be fair, always backed up for us. You know, when he played Origin,
he'll get bombed tomorrow night. I think he'll get bombed.
Val,
yes,
yeah, on the wing, yeah, of course, yeah.
He's up against Voldemort.
He is. We'll see that later.
We'll get into a bit. We'll break it up a little bit now. We'll get our viewers more involved, where they can get their thinking caps on, and we'll see how they go with this. Okay, well, my question tonight. So, as you well know, the Alex McKinnon Cup, the Dragons and Knights battle for that every year. And as Alex McKinnon played for both clubs during his short, tragic career, it was came to a tragic end, as we know, back in 2014 during that shocking spinal injury, which saw him become a paraplegic. But yeah, my question is tonight. So the first game was back in 2015 for the Alex McKinnon Cup. Who won the game? And actually, which team? And one of the losing team was actually held to 0. So who won the game? And and what was, if you can name the score and name the winner, go right ahead. That is the question for this evening. The first time Dragons and Knights battled for the Alex McKinnon Cup. But while we'll keep that going, while the viewers try to solve that problem, we'll go to you, Rob. So we'll go to the key matchups. Coco isn't on tonight, as we alluded to earlier. But, we'll get into this where Rob can discuss where he thinks the battles will be won and lost. The key battles for this game on Friday night.
They're slugging it out in the middle of the field. The Dragon's front row has knocked his block off.
Block is knocked off.
It's time to look at the one-on-one battles that will decide the game. Will it be the key position players? Will the fight be won out wide? Or will it be one up front? Strap yourself in for Coco's Clashes!
Over to you, Rob. Rob's Rumbles. Take us through your key matchups for this game.
Well, look, without a doubt, the forwards, the middles is definitely key. Momentum going forward. Look, personally, I might have my Dragons hat on. I just think we're going to be far too strong. But the forwards, whoever wins that middle, obviously it's going to have a strong chance of winning the game. I see the halves, especially the halfbacks, Gamble and Flanagan. Obviously, who's performing better, who's kicking better, field position is key to that with the momentum of the forwards running forward. Ponga, I think, and Gutho be a great clash with the fullbacks. And as our Newcastle, visitor, Adam, who he did indicate the 5'8", so he's going to be a very good clash as well too. Two young guys going at it, and I think that'll be a big one. But look, just again with my red and white eyes, I just think we're going to be far too strong, the Dragons. So we're going to have to be very consistent, play poorly to lose. To be honest with you. Because I think we're on a big up spiral, and I'm expecting us to win by at least 20 plus in this game, to be honest with you.
What about Gutho and Ponga? Do you think that'll be a key battle?
Yeah, I was going to say Gutho and Ponga.
Yeah, look, I think Ponga has been struggling behind a team that's been very poor. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago we were talking about Newcastle, and they looked like they couldn't score a try, Big T, if you remember. I think they scored.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Adam. I was saying Adam before.
There was a kick they made, and it rebounded off an opposition player and fell in the hands of the Newcastle player to get over the line. And Ponga looked like he was struggling. He couldn't break the line. He was trying his best, zigzagging and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, no matter how talented you are as an individual, it's very, very difficult, you know what I mean, when the team is so poor, that you're playing with. But in saying that, you did indicate before, Big T, Adam was saying he's correct. Playing state of origin, big game, coming back, you're hyped up. Ponga playing with the top players. He's obviously a top player. I'm hoping he's not going to be on. But a bit of magic could be dangerous for us as well too. So we definitely have to watch out for him, Jesse.
And hopefully Val can bring back some form from Origin 2 tomorrow night.
Because they're going to win. That's right.
Yeah.
Both gonna win.
No, I'm looking forward to that. And I think we've been pretty hard on Val, but I think he's been one of our best players, to be honest with you. We're up there at least in our top 6 players. So maybe with the Origin experience for him this time around, he'll come back and do some sharp shooting for us and hopefully score a couple of tries. So personally, I think he's been fantastic for us, Val. So I'm looking forward to him. As much as I want New South Wales to win, Jess, I'm looking forward to Val having a big game for Queensland as well too.
He can play well, Rob, but not too well.
Of course,
He can play well, but Queensland don't have to win the game. How does that sound?
Jess will see. You let him score a try, but you still be.
All right. Lower grades. You're on the Mad Dragons podcast, sponsored by Complete New House Solutions. So New South Wales Cup, they came off a win last week. They were actually down 24 points to 10, 14-0 at half time, and they come back and won 36-28 down against the Raiders in Canberra. So that's a mighty effort there. They'll be the curtain raiser to the game on Friday night. So that will be 5:40 kickoff. The gates will open at 5:30 at Kogarah on Friday night.
Nice.
And a great experience for Cody Ramsey, who is the fullback and captain. He trained with the New South Wales team in the Blue Mountains last weekend, so that was a mighty great experience for him. Ben Rumble and Hayden Buchanan, Ben Rumble and Sione Finau on the wings. Ben Rumble will wear jersey 18. The centres, Nick Granis and Hayden Buchanan. The halves are Jonah Glover and Lachlan Elias. Up front, jersey 16, starting in the front row, Viliami Fafita, with Hame Sele, Connor Mollison as the hooker. The second rows are Jacob Halangahu and Michael Molo. And the lock is Jet Liu. On the bench, it is Hailey Finau, no one in jersey 15, Jacob Webster. And on the bench, also in jersey 20, is Ben Murdoch-Masilla, and the coach, Willie Tallow.
Is that Ben Murdoch's first game back?
No, he played 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure, in the game up at Tamworth when we beat the Newtown Jets. And then Jersey Flag will be playing Saturday at 1 p.m, also against the Newcastle Knights at Collegiate Sports Complex there at Fig Tree. Their team at fullback, Wes Pring. The wingers are Jesse Williams, and on the other wing in jersey 18 is Lyric Craft T. Mawa Nui. In the centres, it is Javid Arfu and Charlie Heidke, who made his New South Wales Cup debut last weekend. The halves are Tyler Packham-Harris and Cade Reid. The front rowers are Campbell Ruby and the captain, Ryan Hutchinson. The hooker is Isaiah Fargalillo. The back rowers are Cyrus Stanley Trail and Jarrus Raweek. And locking the scrum is Matthew Al-Hazim. On the bench, it is Blake Metcalf, Viliami Hakila, Jared Johnson, and Leroy Weatherall will make his jersey flag debut. And the 18th man is Ethan Hodges. The coach is Shane Billy Miller.
Is that little brother? Weatherall?
That is the little brother of Madison Weatherall, who used to play for the Dragons NRLW team, yes.
Jeez, Jess, I congratulate you, mate. You're good on names like Big T. You might have to read that team list out.
Yes.
Wow, there's some names in that one.
You've got to read through that program many, many times to get those names. Just ask Donnie.
Pronounce them right, jeez.
We'll move into the elephant in the room. I know everyone's looking forward to the next couple of nights where we see 2 nights of Origin football. We'll start with the men's state of Origin and Big T. I know you've been busting to read this out, but take us through the Queensland side as it is.
I will, mate.
The game will kick off at Suncorp tomorrow night, game 1 of the 2025 Ampol State of Origin series.
That's the one. Kalen Ponga at the back, Xavier Coates, and our own Val Holmes on the wings. Tony, the Roosters, Toya. No, that is not and then supposed to be there, but Toya and Tabiai Fido in the centres. DCE and Munster in the halves. Mo Whanawaka, Grant, and Tino for Asumala Awi. Ruben Cotter, Nanai, and Carrigan locks the scrum. Good old Billy Slater. I'll jump up with my foot spread out so I can kick you in the head. Slater, Dearden, Collins, Firma, Trent Liero, Kurt Mann, Brad Arthurs, and Finney Fuiaki
Jesse
on the
Arthurs.
extended bench. Jesse Arthurs, that's right. That's all right. Jesse Arthurs. It's a good side. I like that side. Munster and DC are going to cut you apart. Ponga's going to have a good game, but he's not going to take it back to Newcastle. Tabuai Fido, he's going to score a couple.
Well, here is how the Blues will line up. The defending champions,
Don't
big
care.
team. The defending
Don't care.
champions.
Don't care.
We've got a little clip for you, Big T. I'm sure you'll love it. Let's bring it up.
What? Oh, you're going to start this? Ease up.
I have been a bit unfair.
Ease up. Put you on mute.
Players did originate up there.
Oh, we know what it's all about. That's good. You can't talk. New South Wales can't
the
talk.
record straight and name the towns that bred the champions who played
right.
for that first stage.
Conga. Come
Where
on.
is Brisbane? That's in Queensland. Where is Cairns? That's in Queensland. Long Reach to Woomba in Australia. That's in Queensland. Queensland's everywhere. Where is Ipswich?
That's in Queensland.
Where is Bundy? That's in
That's in Queensland.
But where's the Origin Shield? That's in New
That's another one. No. That'll do. That's all. No more. Thanks, mate.
We've already lost one series, Big T. It could be another one.
No chance. You got Laurie Daly as coach.
All right, Rob, the Blues. Laurie Daly back as coach for a second time. Take us through the side he's named.
He's great. I don't know why people say against Laurie. I think one of the best, most inspirational players ever for New South Wales, and he's won a series. I know he lost a few, but Jesus, not that bad. So anyway, sorry, Jess. Dylan Edwards, our fullback, Brian Tocto, our winger, Crichton, we hope plays in the centres with Latrell. How good is Latrell these days? And then on the other wing, him, 6 Moses, 7 Cleary, then Barnett, prop Robson, Reece Robson hooker, Payne Haas, the other prop, Liam Martin. And then we have Crichton, and we have Yo as AO, locking the scrum. We have Watson as 14, Lenu as 15, Young 16, 17 is King, and 18 Graham as the 18th man. And then Jess, you can read out the 19th and the 20th with your pronunciations. You'll do better than me.
So Stefano Utoikamanu, the 19th man, and Hamali Olakawatu. And Matt Burton's actually in the squad as well. Campbell Graham is the one on standby for the Stephen Crichton. And if Stephen Crichton is deemed ruled out, it's looking pretty much that way. Campbell Graham will make his Origin debut. Matt Burton will be the 18th man for the Blues. Big T.
Yeah, Crichton will be out.
Yep.
Yes.
Big T. Queensland. Bring back the Queensland team. Robert Toyer.
Yep. TIA.
Yes. A lot of people questioning that decision. Only played 10 first grade games. He's in his rookie NRL season. He's pretty much the most inexperienced player to play for Queensland since Ben Eichen in 1995. What do you make of this selection? Latrell Mitchell and Angus Crichton on that side of the field.
He's going to have a tough case to play here with Mitchell and who's the other one for their team?
Angus
Mitchell
Crichton.
and who? Angus Crichton. Yeah. Where's he from?
Angus Crichton. He's a young boy. Angus Crichton.
Not Angus Crichton. The other Crichton. Stephen Crichton. Where's he from?
He's from Mount Druitt.
No, where's he play for? He plays for Tonga. Who does Toto play for? Who does Toto play for? So you can't talk about that's in Queensland. It's in New South Wales as well.
Tino.
Should be just for Australian players. Should be just for Australian
what about
players.
Tino?
Tino Fasul Malawi. Yeah, he's all right. I think it's a really good side. Tony, Roosters player there, he's cut it up in the Roosters side. Him and Mark Nawangani-Tawase, they've been spilling it on that side. They've been killing it. So I don't think he'll miss too much. He's going to be a top player. He's going to be a State of Origin player for a long time to come.
It's saying that, Jesse. I saw Mundine in '99. He didn't talk so much. He was probably one of the best 5'8" in the comp. He didn't get selected in Origin and stuff like that. Latrell Mitchell this year, I've seen a different player. A fitter Latrell. He looks like a beast this year. I'd be worried with this poor young guy coming in. Who missed out? Who could have got selected? He's only played 10 NRL matches, so I don't know. I think Latrell is absolutely.
I think Gagai missed out, didn't he?
He overlooked Selwyn Cobbo as well.
I think Latrell's going to have a day out, mate. I really do. I think Latrell, it's the best I've seen him in a long, long time. So, and I'm not a big Latrell supporter, but I can't believe what he's been doing this year.
He thrives in the Origin arena, Latrell Mitchell.
And he's the fittest I've ever seen. So I just watch out, Queensland. I think he's going to run over the top of it.
Big T. There's a lot talking about how big the inclusions of Munster and Tino for Queensland this year after they didn't play it at all last year. How big are inclusions of Cameron Munster and your boy Tino?
Oh, they're huge, mate. Tino can play 80 minutes. He can go all the way. And Munster, he's arguably the best 5'8" in the game. He's up there. Like you've got a halfback at 5'8" for the Blues, so he's going to run all over him. I think Munster's a huge inclusion. Tino's a huge inclusion. I think Dearden on the bench, he's going to have a great game too. So
to be in the team, like he was probably your best player last year. Dearden.
Yeah, he had to be in the side. I always said Dearden's going to be in my side. But Tony, he was pushed by his coach, Trent Robinson, towards Billy Slater. And he said to Billy Slater, he's Origin ready, pick him. So Billy Slater picked him.
Yep. What do you make of the Val Holmes, mainly a centre, playing centre for the Dragons? Are you surprised he's gone with Val on the wing? I know he's played plenty of wing for Queensland and Australia.
No, you see it all the time. New South Wales used to have all fullbacks in their back line. He's fine on the wing. He'll play well there. He knows what he's doing. He's done it before, and he's done it before for North Queensland and the Maroons.
Well, in years gone by, we had Andrew Eddinghausen. He's
played on the wing. Doesn't matter.
It's the top elite players are able to play in those positions.
When you're on the wing coming from centre, you only defend on one side.
Yeah.
Where in the centres, you've got to defend on both sides. So it's a talent, it's a skill, but I think he'll be right.
I'm sure.
And the other debutants, Big T, both of them all been in good form for the Titans. They've been struggling this year, and Trent Liero was in the squad last year. Gets through a lot of work for the Melbourne Storm. What do you make of their
I like Fermor. He's a good, hard, honest forward. Goes down there, does his job. I don't think he's starting at the Titans. I think he's on the bench. I'm not sure, but
he's on an edge. He's on the edge. Yeah, he's keeping Fafita out of his preferred side of the field.
That's because Fafita won't play on the other side of the field. He's a big crybaby. Glad we didn't go for it and didn't get him. He's a crybaby. And Liero, he does his job every time. He's just one of those Bellamy players. So, Trent Liero, I think he's a good pick.
I think going back to what you said though, there's some inspirational players there. I mean, Cotter, he never stops, but
Cotter plays a lot of minutes.
Harry Green is very, very good. I mean, a very good player. You know what I mean? But Tino, I don't know if you guys ever heard the story, but I think it's a female, lovely lady who's the CEO of the Titans. And he was that injured. She absolutely bawled her eyes out. I mean, she's the head of the doing a great job as CEO. He's such an inspiration, this guy, as a leader, as a player, for other players to follow. So what you said before, Jesse, having him in the side, not last year, and Munster as well, but having Tino there, and then Tommy Dearden at 14. I think Tommy Dearden. Don't forget about Dearden. He's a very, very good player.
I think he'll come up as a ball playing 13. I reckon that's how he'll come into the game, Big T. Would you say that?
Who's that?
Tom Dearden. He'll come like as a ball playing 13 to link up with Munster and DC. And
he can play anywhere there. He's probably coming as a ball runner, ball playing. He can do it all. Just be like playing another halfback on the field. So he'll be fine.
Yep. Are you worried that there's no size on the bench? Like only one front rower in Lindsay Collins. Lindsay Collins has only been back a couple of weeks for the Roosters.
But he plays big minutes too. So the rotation of the front rowers, I don't think that'll be too much of a worry. Lindsay Collins will come and play 60 minutes. Easy. So. And he's always there. Lindsay Collins is a challenger. He's always there challenging for the ball. The bomb goes up. Who's there? Lindsay Collins is there. You
can have Carrigan that can push up front as well.
They will, mate. Carrigan will push up front. That's right. He's a front row. He's a number 13. So, yeah, you're right.
Now we'll get into talk about the Blues team. Rob, Laurie Daly, his first time back coaching. He hasn't actually coached anything in 8 years, but are you happy to see him back in the coaching fold? He was coaching in tough circumstances, really struggled to sleep at night, coaching against that that once in a lifetime Queensland side. But he's got a better side this time round. What do you make of how he'll go this time round?
Better team, but mate, I watched this guy in State of Origins. I mean, mate, one of the best players ever to wear the New South Wales jersey. Inspirational captain. So look, I don't go in for any of this stuff. Daly's, you can't coach or whatever. I think there's good systems in place, with the coaches around him. I mean, look, God, bloody bellyaches there as well too, Craig Bellamy. So people don't think for one moment Craig Bellamy is not giving advice or involved or whatever. I mean, you can have a better coach to be behind you. And I'm sure Billy's in the same boat as well too. He's got a great team around him. I mean, it's a whole team effort, right? Across the board. So
Dean Young's actually on the coaching staff as well, Rob.
So I mean that's a good thing, positive thing as well too. But obviously we got question marks sometimes with Dean at the Dragons, but we're on the way up at the Dragons as well, to be fair. But look, with Laurie Daly, I think time will tell. Obviously, there's 3 matches about to happen in the State of Origin, but look, I think he deserves another go. And look, the team's a strong team. I really don't know if you could have really selected much more of a stronger team than what's on the paper there, to be honest with you. So I know there's selectors, and obviously Laurie's a selector as well. But to be fair, I think it's a great team. There might have been merits for Jerome to be there, Jerome Luai, and then Moses has been selected. So people can say you got 2 right-footers, all this sort of stuff, but then Moses deserves a spot, I suppose, from what he's done and what he's doing. But I mean, bloody strong team. So I think having Bellamy there as well is massive for New South Wales. So I'm expecting him to win.
Who do you think runs the team, Rob? There's a lot of talk that Moses and Cleary can both run the team. Do you think Cleary, he'll run the team and Moses can just... He's not normally 5'8" at Parramatta, so he can just focus on his running game, and it gives New South Wales 2 sorts of kicking as well, because Moses, I think, is the next best halfback probably in the game in terms of kicking behind Cleary.
Well, to answer that question, he's been interviewed a few times, and when someone says, I'm humbled to play with Cleary, I'm humbled to play with him, and he's clearly the best halfback in the game, almost the best player in the game. That tells me a lot about Mitchell Moses. He's just happy to be in the team and support Cleary to run the team, and not saying he won't bark any orders, whatever, or won't do any kicking, but if you want to call it second fiddle, I think Moses is a very happy boy to play second fiddle to Nathan Cleary, and I think he'll be definitely running the team out on the field. And I mean, obviously Queensland will be in the same boat. DC will run the team, but obviously Munster is a magnificent player, so he can play out league football and do anything at any time and make something from nothing. So, but I think clearly will be running the New South Wales team around the park.
Stephen Crichton, carrying a calf injury, but right now you would have to say he's the best centre in the game. How big a loss would he be if he's ruled out and Campbell Graham comes in for his debut?
Yeah, it's a big team. I mean, Stephen Crichton to me has been magnificent. Really, really good from what I've seen in the games of the Dogs, and obviously in the rep games. So he's definitely going to be a loss. Campbell Graham's a very good player and been having a great season. But what I've seen so far with Crichton, he's been unbelievable. So definitely going to be a loss, Jesse. I'm not saying I'm sure Graham will do a very good job, filling in for Crichton. But certainly for Queensland, Crichton's a loss. I think he's a dangerous player. But yeah.
And Rob, Clear, as Steve's highlighted, Cleary. We've seen he's led Penrith to 4 premierships in a row, but he's yet to own the Origin arena. Do you think it's his time to step up and really take New South Wales to a series when he hasn't done it yet?
Oh, I'd say
Blue balls.
Yeah, look, all the jokes about Mary and everything and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, there's other players we don't talk about who, might have long relationships that they, what I mean, girlfriends or whatever they don't see all the time, whatever. So, look, I think it is Cleary's time. Time for him to step up. He's pretty much done everything else in the game. So yeah, now is the time. And I guess we're ready to see it in this next 3 games. So yeah, 100%, Jess. Now's the time for Cleary to step up, and lead the team around and win a series.
Yep. Big T. Why is Origin a different beast at Suncorp Stadium?
This is crowd, mate. The crowd, the atmosphere. Remember back in the 80s when the cans were all thrown on the field. It's just the atmosphere. It's just the people. It's just the sheer mate versus mate, state versus state. Like we go mate versus mate. Me and you, me against you, me against Rob, me against Donny, me against Benny, me against Puff, me against. It's always me against someone.
You against the world.
It's me against the world. I've got a couple of Queenslands, mate. I can bring in. Don't worry. I've got a couple behind me. But yeah, it's just a different place to play. It's even different than when you play the Broncos. They're totally different. The atmosphere is so huge. 52,000 screaming Queensland fans. Plus
is
a couple
good,
of
right? Is that the home of Origin football? Is Suncorp the home of Origin football?
Yes, because it's always been there, hasn't it? Lang Park, Suncorp Stadium, same place, isn't it? So, it's got to be. It's got to be the home of State of Origin.
Big T. I mean,
to win there, and to win State of Origin at Queensland, it's absolutely huge.
Mate, not only would they throw cans on the field in these games, I'm about in the 80s and the 90s, but they didn't shake the bus. The New South Wales,
they don't do that anymore.
Right, yeah. The bus ride going to the ground
up Capstan Street.
Yeah,
cans and bottles and drinks thrown at them.
It's an intimidating, absolutely intimidating place to play. I mean, as a New South Wales player, you run on the field. You know what I mean? And it's almost like we've got to stop the crowd booing because you can't even hear the start of the game. It was that, that intense. And the rivalry as well too. I mean, when you see Billy and he Billy Moore, Queenslander. The pride, the passion. I mean, the 80s and the 90s especially were, mate, you never seen any better Origin than that. I mean, it was like they were going to war. So you crossed that line and it was a war. You know what I mean? Mm. So it was Australia going to war. It was New South Wales and Queensland going to war. And that's what it was like. They want to take each other's heads off. So
here's one for you, Big T. Robert Toyer, he's the youngest player to play Origin football for Queensland. DCE, the oldest. What's your take
Yep.
on that one?
Well, one's old, one's young. Like one was born in the 1900s, the other one was born in the 2000s. So
Like
DC is going to go. DC is going to go till he's 40. He's going to leave Manly, go to the Roosters.
Arnie Beeson played older. So did Cameron Smith. Cameron Smith played at 37, 38. So.
But he retired.
Age is nothing this year. Just because age is nothing this year, especially for halves and hookers, because you can't touch them anymore.
Yeah.
Every time I was taught the ball goes up in the air, if that halfback kicks the ball, you hit him. Every time. But it's changed now. You're not allowed to touch him. So that's why you can play till he's 40.
And Cameron Munster, Liam Martin, it seems they have a big rivalry with Big T. Do you think it'll come out on the field tomorrow night, Munster and Martin?
I hope so. I hope it does. Get under Martin's skin. Get under his skin. Get him to do something stupid. Easy. Martin does that. So you get under his skin, get him all rolled up.
Well, I heard today, Jesse. Did you hear there was someone said something to Lenu, Spencer Lenu? There was something came from the Queensland camp, New South Wales camp. So, mate, I know they're not meant to punch. I know they're meant to hit. I mean, there's a little bit more leeway at Origin, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an all-in brawl at some stage.
And was that story on
There's always big rivalry. I think the big battle will be between Tino and Payne Haas, Rob.
Oh, mate, absolutely. I just hope Haas is fit, not carrying some sort of little injury. But yeah, like I said, I got all the time in the world for Tino. An absolute inspiration. But Haas is obviously for me the best prop in the game. So man, what a matchup! I mean, it's like Harrigan, I suppose, back in the day. What was the name of the guy? I mean, I don't talk club football now. Harrigan and Carroll. Yeah, just what a matchup. I mean, Clash of the Titans, mate. The big boys. Would not want to meet those boys in a dark alley, that's for sure.
And Max King named on the bench. Thoughts on that one, Rob? Been probably one of the form front rowers, if not the form front rower, with the Bulldogs this year.
Well, absolutely fantastic. So excited. Everybody probably knows the story, but that's Johnny King, a legend, St George player. Yeah, grandson.
His dad played for the Seagulls.
Yeah, absolutely magnificent young man. And Johnny King was a fantastic. If anybody ever wants to watch old clips of the Dragons, Johnny King was up there with the legends Raper and Langlands and Gasnier and all that. But probably not the notoriety of those guys, but a magnificent player. Like Walt Proven and players like that in the past. So, but
fourth generation.
For this young man, truly deserved it. And he's had debilitating injuries as well too. If you've read a little bit of the story behind him, he's truly believed. I think Gus believed in him, Gus Gould, and gave him a go. And loved him to be a Dragon, of course. But what can you do? But I'm excited for him, just from a Johnny King point of view, and for him. So he truly deserves his spot. And obviously, as much as you love to hate the Bulldogs especially, they are leading the comp. So, and he's been playing very well. So he truly deserves his spot, in that 17. So good luck to the young man.
Yep. Predictions on this one. I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how he goes, and I just hope he goes out and does his job. I'm going to go now, the Blues actually have not won back-to-back games at Suncorp since Laurie Daly was actually playing back in 97, 98. So that's the last time we won back-to-back games in Brisbane. But I'm going to go the Blues by 8. And I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell to be an anytime try scorer. Big T, what's your tip? Queensland at home to start 1-0. What do you think?
Of course they will. Of course they will. Queensland by 1 million. Queensland by plenty. They're going to run over top of you. Tabuai Fido over top of you. See you later. Here he goes. I think Queensland by 8. I think they'll go up by 8. They'll win the first game. I'm going to say Toya's going to score a try on debut. And my mate Tino Fa'asumala Awi, he's going to score a try. Queensland by 8.
And I'm gonna throw in one too. I'm gonna my man of the match. I'm gonna go with Mitchell Moses
because he's the best halfback in the game.
All right, Thursday night. It's another Origin game where the Blues have a chance at a clean sweep. Queensland playing for pride, but let's go the Blues. I had the privilege of being there in that torrential rain at Allianz Stadium for Game 2, and it was a great game to watch. New South Wales just over the top of them. Jesse
seen the pics.
Completely. Her kicking game was enormous. Olivia Koenig, what an outstanding performance from her, over 230 meters. Probably the best player in the NRLW right now. Plus Jemima Taufa. Kezi Apps still playing very well at 34 years of age. She could play for another 10 years the way she's playing. And yeah, the Blues really played well as a team, and they thoroughly deserve to claim that shield. And yeah, this game will be played at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle on Thursday night. So Abby Church at the back, it's unchanged again. Jamie Chapman and Jamie Frizzard on the wings. Jess Surgis and the captain Isabel Kelly are the centres. Tiana Penny and Tani Gray, and the Newcastle girl Jessie Saffel in the halves. Up front, it is Jemima Taufa and Ellie Johnston. Keely Davis is the hooker. Kezi Apps and Yasmin Clives are the other Newcastle girl on the back row. Olivia Koenig, that player, what a player she has been through this series, is the lock. On the bench, Jocelyn Kelleher, Kennedy Cherrington, Sarah Togatuki, and Emma Veron is the 18th player, with the reserves of Olivia Higgins, Shaylee Bent, and Bridie Parker. The coach is John Strange. Big T, Queensland have made some changes. They've got a couple of big outs to make it up and pick up a hip injury in that game in Sydney. So she's out. But there's some debutantes in this team as well, with Keely Joseph also out due to medical reasons, which she's a veteran moved from the halves to a different position. Big T.
You made a couple of mistakes in this one here. Hayley Maddock at the back, Julia Robinson and Jasmine Peters on the wings. Sinead Sazolka and Rory Owen in the centres. Taryn Aiken and Lauren Brown in the halves. Well, I've got Keely Brown there, but it's not Brown. It's Destiny Brill's in that position. Jess Ellison, Sina Lofopo, Romy Teitzel, and Ali Briggshaw at the back of the scrum. That'll be good. Tony Norris is the coach. Here's where I stuffed up. It's Georgia Hadaway, Sophie Holloman, Chelsea Lenarduzzi, and Tavana Papali, Jada Ferguson, and Emily Bass on the bench. Emily Bass on the bench. So yeah, don't worry about that. That's the New South Wales side there, but Queensland, that's the run of 13.
Big T, Queensland, they've been soundly beaten in both games. How big a loss is to make up the no as they try and avoid a blue wash in this game?
Huge. I think she's got a few weeks out, hasn't she, before she comes back anyway?
NRLW,
yeah. So Hayley Maddox, she's a good fullback. I don't know if she's up to Tamika Upton's standard. But I hope our forwards can go over the top of your forwards. Like Jemima Taufa, Ellie Johnson, your two big front rowers, my God, they're good players. They went through us last time. But yeah, I hope the girls put up a good game. I don't know if they're going to win it, but the strongest side we can put in. New South Wales have just been too good. John Strange is such a good coach.
Ali Briggshaw, probably the greatest, one of the greatest players to play the game. Yeah. What's your take on how people have been absolutely bagging her in the last week or so about retiring and she's done everything in the game, hasn't she?
Oh, she's done everything in the game. But yeah, she didn't have a very good second game. The first one, she was thereabouts, but the second game, I didn't see Ali for the whole game. She was out of the game. But having her in the back row, having her 5'8", playing football, playing lock. I hope she can get that done. Another year. I think it's we're saying good players can play up into their 38s, 39s, saying Kezzy Abs can play. I'm sure Brickenshaw's just going through a bad spell at the moment. She didn't look good last time round, but I hope in the back row she'll go well. I hope she'll go well.
Do you think it's her last Origin, Big T?
I think so, yeah. She might have a couple more years left in the NRLW game. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think it's Ali's final state of origin.
Do you think it's a changing of the guard though with Lauren Brown in the halves?
Oh, for sure. Brickenshaw's been there
15
every other time. 15 years, there you go. But yeah, I think it's her last. Lauren Brown, she's an up and comer. She's a young girl coming through. That happens everywhere. Look at Queensland with their Roosters centre, Toya. So yeah, she'll go all right.
But what do you make of the way the Blues are playing though, Big T? I mean, I know you're a Queenslander, but the Blues have just really steamrolled them. Queensland haven't looked likely to break them at any stage.
They have. And when you've got outside backs, Chapman, Surges, Kelly, Frezard, they're probably the four best back, Abby Church at fullback. And then you've got Petitoni, Gray, and Southwell. What great players they are. Your two front rows, Small Mataufa, that's spelt wrong, but Ellie Johnson, Abs, Clydesdale, Koenig. Fuck me. That's the Australian pack. So they got a great side. They got a great coach. I was at John Strange. What a great coach he is.
Yep. I don't know if you've been watching the Women's Origin, Rob, but what's your take on it? Would it be great to see the Blues make it 3-0, a whitewash in Newcastle?
No.
Oh, he's on mute.
Oh, he's on mute. You're muted.
Rob.
Apologies. I gave Queensland a chance in the first game, not knowing the girls as well as yourself, Jess. But yeah, I mean, New South Wales to me look just too domineering. Big T, like the Queensland team back in the day with Thurston and Cameron Smith. The period with the men there going through there, where pretty much you knew the series. It was going to be half New South Wales to win. So in the same way with this, I'm seeing a pretty domineering team with New South Wales. And, what a fantastic coach as well too. So I just think they'll be too strong, Jess. I think it'll be a clean sweep. And, New South Wales. Hopefully the men can do the same thing as the girls.
How good would it be if we see 3-0 in both, Rob? How good would that be?
Stop dreaming.
Dreaming.
Tell him he's dreaming.
We'll have to hold a mock funeral in the Illawarra for Big T.
You might have to.
Yep. So I'm going to go in this one. I can't see anything but a Blues comfortable win.
Too strong.
I think Jessie Southwell will absolutely have a blinder. She'll be the player of the match. Newcastle girl. I think she'll step up. She's and Olivia Koenig, I think they'll be the best too. But I'm going to go with Smokey for a try at any stage in the game. Kezzy Apps is in unbelievable form. I'm going to go with her to get a try at any stage in the game. The Blues by 24. Rob?
What?
Oh, wow.
Jesus. Go on, Rob. What do you reckon?
I know you're pretty knowledgeable, Jess, with all this, but I'll halve you, so I'll say 12. I'll be a little bit more, reasonable. But nothing would surprise me.
Who's your anytime try scorer for the Blues?
I love Surges. I'd like her to score, but Chapman, I'll put her down for a try, I reckon. So Jamie Chapman.
Big T, did the Queensland save face and can restore a little bit of pride?
Yeah,
or will the Blues go 3-0?
Yes, of course they will. But I want to say Jamie Chapman, she runs. She's a gazelle. She gets out in the open, we're not going to catch her. I'm going to say Ali Brigginshaw to bounce back, to come and have a good game. She'll have a great game. Destiny Brill, back in dummy half. She's just a great player, Destiny Brill. Romy Teitzel, what a great player. Queensland by 1.
Queensland by who kicks the field goal? What, Lauren Brown?
I don't care. I don't care. Romy Teitzel can kick the field goal. Anyone can kick the field goal. Just kick the field goal. Somebody kick a field goal. Queensland by 1.
All right. Now we'll move into some news and rumours. First of all, we had a message from our CEO, our new CEO who started in the top job yesterday. And here is what he had to say. Let's have a look. And this is what our new CEO had to say. It is with real pride and deep respect for the legacy of this great club that I write to you today on my first day as Chief Executive of the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I want to share how honoured I am to lead this club and how I'm excited for what is ahead. From Bateman's Bay to Arncliffe, we are a region stitched together by red and white. The Dragons are more than a footy team. For many, this club is part of who they are. I have come to understand just how deeply our results affect the mood of the entire communities. When we win, there is a spring in everyone's step, and when we struggle, people feel it. That is not pressure, that is purpose, and I carry that responsibility with real care. With the NRL season well underway and our NRLW team gearing up for their campaign, I'm working closely with Shane Flanagan and Nathan Cross. They are building teams that work hard, believe in each other, and want to do the jersey proud. Their focus on player development, high standards, and club culture aligns with everything we want the Dragons to be. What sets this club apart is not just the size of our supporter base, it is the depth of the connection. Families who have followed the Red V for generations, members who travel hundreds of kilometres to be at a game, local juniors dreaming of pulling on the jersey one day. The Dragons are woven into the lives of people across our regions, and that connection is something we never take for granted. I've spent career helping teams, backing strong cultures, bold ideas, and putting fans at the centre of everything. That is what I will do here. We've got big plans, including a blockbuster start to 2026 when we take on the Bulldogs in Las Vegas. It is a huge opportunity to show the world who we are and take the Dragons brand to a global stage. But it is just not about the big moments. It is about doing the work every day to build a club you can be proud of. That starts with our new Dragons High Community and High Performance Centre. This will not be just a place to train, but it will be the heart of our club. A place where young players chase their dreams, with the community comes together, and where the doors are always open to our members and fans. To everyone in the Red V family, thank you. Thank you for caring so deeply, for being there in the highs and lows, and for making this club what it is. I'm here to serve you and cannot wait to build something special together. CEO Tim Watsford. And there, Tim Watsford, our new CEO. What's your take on that, Big T? Some strong words there from our new CEO.
Yeah, can't believe Big T's at Queensland all good. Yeah, every good podcast needs a grub. No, no, he's great. He come from Supercars. He's been at another few organisations before that. I think he's going to do
league before. Yeah,
I think he's going to do a fantastic job. The other guy came from AFL. What was his name? Not Carr. Webb. He came from AFL. It's a different ball game, different people. He done his things. Well, he got the centre of excellence kicking off and going, and that should be finished in a couple of years' time. So, yeah, hopefully you go well. And yeah.
Yep. Yes, last week the Dragons NRLW team had the great chance to train with Alex Volkanovski. Rob, what do you make of that one?
They're pretty incredible. Obviously, very passionate guy. So, it's a good thing, I think, when you can get people from outside from another sport who's a champion to come in. It's only going to be beneficial, hopefully. Obviously, he loves the Dragons, supports the Dragons. So, I say bring it on. I think some of our ex-players as well, too. I like seeing the ex-players come in and around, to the camp as well, too, and get involved and maybe do a talk here and there. So I think it's a great thing, a great initiative with that sort of stuff. And the Volk, obviously, he's a champion. So, you got to look at his record. So I think when he talks, people listen.
Yep. And we'll get into some news and rumors. Jacob Little. So in the last week or so, he's got the mutual option to play with the club for next year. But there are other clubs circling, such as the Cowboys, who are looking for a replacement for Reece Robson. Manly are circling as well. He does still want to stay with the Dragons. Do you think he's probably been arguably our best player this season, Big T? What must we? Is it a priority to re-sign Jacob Little?
It's imperative we sign him. When he comes on, the game changes. Like Rob said earlier on, it just changes. We've got more go forward. We've got more attack, like he just brings up West Tigers were drooling over him 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago when he was coming through. They thought he was the man. Then he had a few injuries and I think he's coming back. He's coming back to the best form, and we have to sign him. We have to sign him.
I totally agree, Big T. And look, I'll come up with some past players as an example for everybody. I'm sure they'll know these players. We had a guy called Chock Mundine and a guy called Trent Barrett. They used to be able to make something from nothing. So basically, they were a player that could be on the field or come on or to play the whole game, but be on the field at a time. They could change the game for us. Make a result. You know what I mean? Get a try for us or whatever. And Little has that ability. And you can't lose a player like that. He's dangerous. We don't have a player like that who can make something from nothing. We really don't. We have a good team and we have individual players who can score a try. But this guy literally can change a game for us. And you don't lose a player like that. No. And I'd say if the Dragons are slack and stupid about the way they go about this, we'll lose him because there's no doubt Reece Robson leading to the Roosters. North Queensland will go hard for Jacob Little. I would be if I was North Queensland. And Manly probably in the same boat as well. They got the money with Cherry Evans out the door. So, mate, we're going to be very careful. We'll lose him. And I don't blame Little.
Do you think it's anything to do with Damien Cook being the starting 9, Rob?
Oh, look, yeah, obviously, and I really don't care what anybody says in the sense of we're all crazy Dragon supporters, right? But there's a thing called pride, and it's nice to be the number 1. It's nice to be the number 9 in your back, the starting hooker, right? No matter what anybody says, I think it is a little bit of angst for him to be the 14 and be on the bench, and he doesn't deserve to be that player. I mean, God, in most of the other NRL teams, he'd probably be starting, to be honest with you. So it's a tough pill to swallow for him. You know what I mean? Like being on the bench. But in saying that, if that's part of his reason why he's not happy, if there's truth to it, then we're probably a big chance of losing him because, like we just said, there's a couple of teams there where he will start, obviously. But I hope that's not the case. I hope he'll just keep on getting more minutes. And we just said Cook and Little on the field together at the same time. We seem to be a better team. So why not keep that going? Why, I think Flano's growing to it. But yeah, they seem to probably even outplay our halves when they're playing together on the field at the same time. They can make more things than our own halves can. So it's just stupid not to be playing them at the same time. But Jesse, I honestly can't answer the question. I am really worried that we're going to lose him. I don't know whether money comes into it as well, whether he will get offered more money. I guess maybe he might. North Queensland might give him more money, you know what I mean? So that could be an issue as well. I don't know what's in the coffers or how much Flano or the club want to, reasonably pay him. But Big T, he's been one of our best players, hasn't he?
Sure has.
So it's a very difficult situation.
Now, one that's come through today, Dragons seem to be linked with about every player, but Big T, with the Dogs very close to signing Lachlan Galvin, it's pretty much a done deal. Toby Sexton reportedly has spoken to the Dragons. Is he someone you'd be looking to get? He's been in good form for the Bulldogs.
he has been in good form for the Bulldogs. I thought he was good in form for the Bulldogs last year. But I heard rumours going back to Titans, so he's just using us as a step to get more money at the Titans, I reckon.
But would Toby Sexton be a guy you'd like to have at the Dragons?
Well, Toby Sexton and Daniel Atkinson, I don't know. It's a different combination.
It's not something you'd be open to?
I don't know. I don't know what they're looking at. I think he's going to the Titans anyway, so I wouldn't be looking at him at all.
Okay. Now we saw a feel-good story from one of our NRLW players today, and let's have a look at it. One of our absolute stars of the team.
This report brought to you by Warrigal, creating inspiring communities for older people.
Pushing through barriers is something Tegan Berry is used to. She's the Dragons' longest tenured player and the NRLW's all-time leading try scorer.
Look out! Here goes the flash!
The 23-year-old's off-season spent working part-time in disability support, taking clients out for the day.
Just makes you look at the bigger picture, and I'm really fortunate to be in this position, and to see my clients just love what they do makes me just feel so happy about it.
The job now taking a backseat as pre-season ramps up. It's the dawn of a new era for the Dragons NRLW side, with Sammy Bremner arriving as female football manager and the appointment of Nathan Cross as head coach.
It's really refreshing to have a new coach in this year, and I think the girls are really buying into what we're doing, and it's going to be a good year for us, I think.
She'll be the first to admit she's not one of the louder voices in the squad, but now in her 6th year at the club, her influence can't be ignored.
I like to help everyone in their own different ways, and I think I just like to lead with my actions, and obviously I have my input here and there.
Berry recently recommitted to the Dragons until the end of next season and expects big things ahead, with the squad boosted by 7 new recruits.
And there's a lot of experience that has come in this year, and we've also got a lot of young girls coming through the ranks, so to combine them two together, I think it's a really good team building so far.
The squad continues pre-season ahead of their round 1 clash on July 5th. Jack Marnie, Win News.
Nice.
Very good to see with Tegan Berry there, yeah.
Yeah, they've got to sign her a long time. They've got to can't give her 1-year deals. Come on, stop. Got to do more.
Yeah, we've got to keep her long term, that's for sure. And yeah, hopefully we do have an improved year, but yeah, more NRLW.
As Scotty Jones says. Scotty Jones loves the flash.
6 weeks until the season starts, Big T, so the countdown is on.
Nice.
All right, now we'll get into our tips for the week. So I'll just go to, since we're pressed for time, so we'll just go 1 tip each. So being our game is the first game of the round, Saturday, 3 p.m. On the Gold Coast, Big T. The Titans will play the Melbourne Storm. The Titans have named Jalen the Groot at fullback, despite Foran starting in the halves last game against the Raiders, which saw Brimson go back to fullback. And Jacob Alec-Wenke is the new player on the bench. For the Melbourne Storm, actually for the Titans as well, Fodawaker and Tino have been named to back up from Origin. As for the Melbourne Storm, they have named all their Origin players as well, with Munster, Grant, Coates, Liero and Stefano if he does take his place, and also Harry Grant. What do you think here? And there's been many tipping that Harry Grant probably won't back up. Titans or the Melbourne Storm?
I think Harry Grant might play 70, 80 minutes for Queensland. But yeah, Melbourne have been different. Some games they come out and wipe the floor with you, and some games they come out and lose the close ones, you know. Melbourne are very up and down. Titans are another team, very frustrating, very up and down. I'm going for an upset, Titans at home.
All right. The 5:30 game on Saturday, Rob, will be the Cowboys taking on the Tigers up in Townsville. The Cowboys are unchanged. It looks like they are unchanged. Oh, they do welcome back Ruben Cotter, permitting he does back up from Origin. Jeremiah Menai and who's the other one? Oh, Tom Dearden have been named to back up for the Cowboys after Origin. And for the Tigers, Heath Mason has been named at 5'8" with Lachlan Galvin off to the Bulldogs. Yep, and that's their only change.
I'll be quick for you. I think Cowboys, I think Tigers are on a little bit of a spiral at the moment, and I think Cowboys will be too good at home. And I think the Galvin stuff will be a bit of icing on the cake, and Cowboys will just be too strong, too good. I think Cowboys are improving.
I reckon you'll be at the Bulldogs by round 14.
Incredible.
Yep. That's what I
don't muck around these days, do they?
No, they don't.
Saturday night at 7:35, Big T, up at Brookie. It's the Manly Sea Eagles taking on the Brisbane Broncos. The Broncos, it's been a long time since they've visited Brookie because normally Manly and Brisbane play at Magic Round. So, but Manly have requested for Brisbane to make the trip down to Brookvale Oval this year. Big blow for Manly. The Trebojevic brothers, Tom and Jake, both out. Lee Haipoati will play fullback, which sees Tommy Talau come onto the wing. Daly Tree Evans, the sole Origin representative for Manly, has been named to back up. For Brisbane, Jesse Arthurs has been named at fullback, which sees Selwyn Cobbo shift to the wing. And Ben Takura, the big giant, comes onto the bench. For the Broncos, Corey Pakes will start at hooker with Billy Walters going back to the bench. Patrick Carrigan has been named to back up from Origin, Big T.
Yeah, well, Brisbane coming down to 4 Pines Park. Brisbane have been terrible. They've been awful. They've won one out of the last 6.
Both teams
yeah, exactly right. But Brisbane have got something going on behind the scenes. The players don't like the coach, and and one of their big players who has a lot of pull around there is Reece Walsh. I think he's the main instigator up there. So, yeah, 4 Points Park, it's a tough place to go and win. We did. Yeah, I'm going to go Manly, I think. Manly at 4 points.
Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. It'll be at a core stadium, Rob. The Rabbitohs against the Warriors. Their sole Origin representative, Latrell Mitchell, has been named to back up. And Campbell Graham potentially if he does debut tomorrow night. And Mitch Barnett, the Warriors Origin representative, has been named to back up. James Harris is back from suspension. Rabbitohs, well inside the top 8. The Warriors, they probably played one of the games of the year against the Raiders last Sunday.
Absolutely.
Do the Rabbitohs continue to defy the odds, or have the Warriors impressed you that they will get the job done and bounce back here?
Oh, mate, it was so hard because the Warriors and the Raiders game, it's one of the best games of the season. I don't know if you guys thought the same thing, but incredible match. So, yeah, I mean, the Warriors play like that. I think they beat anybody. So I'd have to tip the Warriors, but I've been impressed with the Rabbitohs because the Rabbitohs just have this steely ability to be able to stay in games, come back in games, and win games at the crunch.
That's a Bennett team?
Oh, yeah, well coached. And we found out, right? We were ahead. They came back. They had a player in the bin. So, look, anything could happen, Jesse. I'd have to say the Warriors on that last game against Canberra, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Souths win as well too. And obviously Mitchell's key if he backs up as well. But, yeah, it's a tough one, mate, to be honest with you. But Warriors are just, they were just too good against Canberra. That was one of the best games I've seen this season. So I'll say Warriors.
And question out of the blue, but from what you saw from them on Sunday, do you think they're a top 4 side?
Oh, absolutely. If they can continue the punch, I mean, obviously they're getting sold out crowds in New Zealand, which is a massive help. I mean, we always talk about Wynn Stadium. There's a sellout there, how good it is. So you imagine New Zealand with these sellout crowds, how vocal they are. So it's a big lift for you. But, yeah, on that form that we saw on the weekend, definitely. If they can consistently keep it going, obviously got a very good half. They're 5'8". Is it 5'8"?
He's the halfback.
Halfback, yeah, sorry. He's very, very good player. And obviously got
Ali Amzi is.
Yeah, so a bit of a quiet achiever in the sense that how good is he and what he's doing. So, mate, yeah, I look definitely at the moment top 4. Yeah, unless it all falls apart.
Now Sunday, the 4:05 game, Big T, the Battle of the West, Parramatta and Penrith.
Battle of the Spoon. Parramatta always play Battle of the Spoon, don't they? Well, they're actually third last at the moment. They're ahead of the Titans. What a team! Ahead of the Titans on for and against. But Panthers Stone Cold.
I was just going to say last mate. They have all been named to back up, but in previous years they've had the luxury of resting them.
They have.
Considering their position now, they don't have that luxury.
No, they don't. They don't. No way they do. They. I'm sure Cleary will back up. I'm sure, but it's the teammates on Wednesday go head to head on Sunday. Moses and Cleary, they get into each other's head during State of Origin. We're going to beat you this weekend, and they'll play bad for New South Wales. So that's how it'll work. They'll be at each other's throats. We'll beat you this weekend. Yeah. I'm going to go.
Have been named to back up too for Parramatta.
Yeah, they'll back up. Lomax will back up. He'll do a lot of yards. A lot of yards for New South Wales. I'm going to go Parramatta.
Yeah, I agree. I think Parramatta are on the improve.
And the final game of the round, this is probably the game of the round. The Roosters, they've hit some form recently, the Roosters. They absolutely destroyed the Sharks, the full-strength Sharks, last Saturday night. The Raiders, playing a tough brand of football as well. The Roosters do welcome back 5 Origin stars, permitting they all do back up, with Robert Toya, Lindsay Collins, Spencer Leniu, Angus Crichton, and Connor Watson. The Raiders do welcome back Hudson Young as their sole Origin representative. Rob, this is the game of the round, surely. Both teams in great form.
Be a big game. So where's it at, Jess?
It's at Allianz in Sydney.
Allianz, yeah. I'm loving what the Raiders are doing, but the Roosters are just, I don't know, they're uncanny, aren't they? The way they're knocking off teams. So I'm going to go for the upset against the Raiders. So I'll go for the Roosters, even though I don't want to go for the Roosters. I want to go for the Raiders, but I don't know. There's something about the Roosters. So if they've got all those players going to be coming back, I think they're a smoky for the top 8, the Roosters. So I hate them, but I think they'll win.
Yep, and that wraps up the round. It's a short round. 3 teams have the bye this week in the Bulldogs, the Sharks, and the Dolphins. As we have the players back up from Origin for the first time this year. But the most important game of the weekend, which will kick off round 13, will be on Friday night, Big T, when the Dragons take on the Knights. Can we edge closer towards the top 8 and get the victory? It's our first game at Kogarah in nearly 2 months.
We have to. Yeah, we have to. We have to. Newcastle are one of those teams that are going to be in and around the 8. And if we want to be in the 8, we've got to beat these teams. I think we've got to beat them. Who have to win. I'm going to say Dragons are going to win by 18. Sloan to continue his try scoring form. And I'm sure Jacob Little, when he comes on, he'll get over too. So Dragons by a few, I think. That's going to be 18 plus, I think.
Rob?
I hear Big T. I absolutely think we'll smash Newcastle. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think we're on the up. Across the park, I think we're going to be way too strong. And I think we're starting to believe in ourselves that we can win consistently and win week in, week out, irrespective of who might be in the team. I think we're all believing it, and they're all playing for each other now. And we've got some key ins as well. The likes of Taylor Couchman back. He's a freak, an absolute freak. This guy's a tackling machine, running machine. We're going to add fitness and value to our forward pack. So I just think we'll be too strong. Obviously, the worry is always inconsistency, but I don't know. I think now we might be starting to get over those hurdles. I think we believe in ourselves. So you're going, I'm going, Jesse. So I'm hoping, like Big T said, 18 plus, and we put some points on for the for and against for the top 8.
Yep. A for and against actually isn't too bad. It's -11 at this point in time.
Well, you put it in a good plus territory with a big win. So,
and we've got a couple of winnable games coming up too. We got back-to-back Friday night games in the next fortnight. After this, we head back to Brisbane to take on the Dolphins. So a big fortnight coming up. I'm going to go the money man, Christian Tuapolotu, will return, and he'll do his try celebration again, and he'll light up the crowd, won't he, Rob?
He'll jump in a try. Yeah, no, exciting. I agree with you too. Actually, I think CT will definitely get over in the game, so I'm excited. I'm actually hoping for an LKT try as well too. It'll be nice, you know what I mean, just for him to get over as well too. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Gutho cross the try line as well too, as another one in our back line that might get over.
We'll finish off with this for the night. It's where our Dragons NRLW players actually had their content day, where they had their photo day and then time with the media, and that's where we'll leave you for this evening. So thanks you for joining us for tonight.
Thanks everybody.
See ya. I am here, but I had to go.
Day 2025.
Just pack up your bags and he was up all night. Function set when I turn my
Thanks.
Rose. I don't wanna hear nothing until you bring back everything you stole. Nah, I'm just
baby.
You ain't gonna come round here with a standby man. Just pack up your bags and he was up all night, right with a function set. When I turn my back, you froze. I don't wanna hear nothing.
Coco is at Pound's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of dragons, wins and tuna victory. Tony and the MP crew will do their very best, hitting up topic and I digress with a red V on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet feet. And so our peddlers speak the tales, and our friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by